What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I've been getting a couple requests from people in my life asking how to make homemade yogurt and Greek yogurt in an Instant Pot. So I know not everyone has one of these, and there are other ways to make it, but this is what I have, and this is what I like to use, and my kids love the yogurt that I made. You can add all kinds of flavorings to it, honey, berries, jams, whatever you want, and it always turns out really good. So I'm going to show you how to make this from start to finish. The whole process takes about 10 to 12 hours, 8 hours for the cooking time, and 3 to 4 hours for the draining time to drain out some of the whey, so it's not just a really, liquidy yogurt. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So you're going to start off by adding a full gallon of your choice of dairy. So I'm going to be using a full gallon of whole milk, and you pour it straight into the Instant Pot. You want to make sure this is fresh milk and not near expired milk. That's just the best experience that I've had so far. So you're just going to pour this in all the way. It's a full gallon. Alright, so then you're going to pop your lid on. Make sure that is in sealed mode, or the top is sealed. Then go down here and press yogurt until it says boil. Then you're just going to let it do its thing. It's going to bring the temperature of the milk up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. That will be the point when the natural bacteria inside the dairy is killed, so there's no competing bacterial cultures for the yogurt when you put in the yogurt, and it'll only be those bacteria cultures that will influence the growth of the yogurt. So we're going to come back once it's ready to go, and this will sound an alarm. It will beep once it is done, and we'll come back at that point. Alright, so it has finished the boiling portion, and it should be up to temperature, so we're going to release any steam here. Okay, it's released, so now we're going to crack this open. Now, it might stick a little bit, and that's fine. So we're going to check the temperature here with my instant read thermometer. I'm going to crack this open. Now, I did come to this just a touch late, but I can assure you I've done this several times, and it did get up to 180. So it's starting to drop now, which is good. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to turn this off, and now I'm going to let it cool down to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and at that point we are going to add yogurt cultures. So you can either buy yogurt from the store, as long as it has active, alive yogurt cultures in it, or you can add yogurt from your last batch. So we're going to come back as soon as it hits around 120 degrees, then we're going to stir in our yogurt cultures. Alright, so we're going to check the temperature of our milk now. It's been about an hour. If you want to do it faster, you can always place the entire container inside of an ice bath, and that'll cool it down in between 5 and 10 minutes. So we're going to check the temperature, and we want it to be right around 115. Good. Okay, good. 119.5. That is actually close enough. You want it between 110 and 120 for this to work. But you actually probably want it around 120 because it needs to maintain the temperature of 115 to 120 for 8 hours. So at this point we're going to add our yogurt. If you want to add a commercial yogurt, you can, but you have to make sure to read on the back of it that it has live active cultures. Mine I made from a Greek yogurt. I don't remember the brand, but it turned out really well. And this is what it looks like after straining, and my kids have eaten at it. So we're going to take my old yogurt. This is about 6-7 days old now, and that lasts for about 2 weeks. So we are going to take about half a cup. So that should be pretty much what's left. So we're going to scoop this out. See how nice and thick and creamy that is? This is a really good Greek yogurt. So we're going to plop that in there. About a half cup. That's pretty much everything that I have left in here. Now these are live cultures. So we're going to stir this in gently. It should dissolve pretty easily in here. Go back and forth. Don't want to stir it too crazy. If you want, you can get a whisk just to make sure everything breaks up really nicely. Alright, now that that's stirred in, what we're going to do is we're going to put the lid back on. Okay. Put the lid back on, make sure the top is sealed so it's not going to open. Okay, hit the yogurt button, make sure it goes back to yogurt. 8 hours is what I'm setting this for, and it's going to automatically go. So that should be nice. And then as soon as it starts, stop blinking, then it's going to go. This is going to ferment for 8 hours. See, it's going to start at 0 and go all the way up to 8, and then the alarm is going to go off, letting you know it's ready. So we're going to come back in 8 hours, and I'm going to show you what we have. Alright, so we're back. It has been 8 hours. My Instant Pot just went off, so we're going to crack it open and check the temperature. And we're going to check how this yogurt looks. Alright. Okay. So it should be probably around 95 degrees. Temperature will have dropped over time. It smells really fresh. It smells really good. It smells like yogurt from the store. So yeah, around 95 degrees, that's expected. Okay, I'm going to bring you in for a closer look so you can see just how it looks when it's done. Alright, so when it's done, it's going to be visibly thick and gelatin-like. That is the current yogurt state with all of the whey inside. I'm sure you can see the kind of milky white or milky clear substance. That is the whey inside of this milk. So what we're going to do is we are going to dump all of this into this awesome fancy strainer. I got it on Amazon. It's designed for Greek yogurt. It has a built-in strainer. You take it off. You can see it's a really nice tub here. This is designed for 1 gallon batches. So the whey is going to be strained through this sieve here and drain the whey into the bottom. And the more whey that is drained out, the thicker and creamier the yogurt becomes. I really like a nice thick creamy yogurt, so that takes about 6 to 12 hours of draining. But my wife, she likes more of the normal yogurt consistency that you would get at the store. You know, like just the typical yogurt. So we're going to dump this out, then we're going to put it in the fridge and wait about 4 hours to get that typical yogurt consistency. So this shouldn't be very hot because it's cooled down quite a bit. So you can just grab it with your hands. And remember, see, really nice and thick. You can see it pulling away. You can see all that whey piling up right there. So we're going to dump this in here. And it might be messy. You know what we could do is get a knife and actually kind of chop it up a little bit just to make sure that nothing comes out in massive chunks. If you've ever made mozzarella cheese, this is what you do for the curds to make mozzarella cheese. But we are not making mozzarella, we are making yogurt. So this will create or make it come out in nice chunks. All right, let's go ahead and get this dumped. Hopefully you can see. There, you can see a little better. Comes out super chunky, which is how it's designed to be. Pour it out nice and even. Ooh, got a lot at the bottom, so I'm going to grab a spoon. And go ahead and scrape it out, because I want all of that delicious yogurt draining. Alright, make sure to get any yogurt off of there because you want it all to drain. I put this in the sink. Okay, so we'll bring you in so you can really see how everything looks right now. And if you come down here, I'm going to pop you off real quick. Pop you off my stand. If you look down here, you can see it starting to drain. You can see all that liquid coming out. That is the whey. By the time we're done, that whey is going to be drained probably up to this 3-quart line. And I'm going to want to dump that out so we can continue to drain. So this is going to sit in the fridge. You don't want to leave it out on the counter because then yogurt can spoil within a few hours. So we're going to put this in the fridge, covered with this lid that it comes with. Pop it on and place it in the fridge for the consistency that I'm shooting for. Should be about 4 hours. If you want really thick, creamy Greek yogurt that you can buy at the store where it's nice and thick, that's about 8 to 12 hours. You can do it in 3-hour increments just so you can check it. But yeah, this one's going away. So we'll pull you out when I pull this out. All right, welcome back to the final part of this video. It's been about 3 hours to 3.5 hours. This has been sitting in the fridge. As you can see all that whey in the bottom, all that nice clear whey. Well, they're not clear, that's fine. That is everything that is drained out of the yogurt. It's essentially just a milk protein that has drained out, causing the yogurt to become thicker. So if you remember, when we put it in, it was very liquidy. If you look at it now, it's very thick. So I'm going to go ahead and take a scoop and show you. So this is about 3.5 hours, and this is the thickness you're looking at. Not dripping, just slight goopiness, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So that's Greek yogurt. So you can let this sit as long as you want. I'd say up to 12 hours, and you'll get a really good consistency. And at this point, I'm going to transfer it into my jar. This is my yogurt jar. So I'm just going to take this. This has been nice and cleaned. So what you can do is just take this whole thing out. Then you can kind of just scrape it in. Now, over the days, as it sits, it will build up some whey on the surface, and you can just kind of invert the jar a little bit and dump that out if you don't want it, which is perfectly fine. Just don't dump out the yogurt. Yeah, so this will keep for about 2 weeks, but if you have children that really like yogurt or yourself, I don't imagine it's going to last that long. My kids love this stuff. I like to make my own jams, so I've put raspberry jam in this, about a spoonful or two, in about a cupful of yogurt, and it's perfect. You can do honey, you can mix in some granola if you want, but this is plain Greek yogurt, homemade. If you see how much there is here, after about 3 to 4 hours worth of draining in this fancy sieve, this is actually my first time using it. I usually use cheesecloth, so I imagine that type of cheesecloth, it takes a lot longer to drain. But believe it or not, this is about the consistency that it was when I used the cheesecloth in about 9 hours. So this worked really well, really, really well. I highly suggest this. I will put a link in the description to this particular device so you guys can see it, and it will support my channel since it will be an affiliate link. Let's see. Yeah, this was a really good batch. I'm happy with this one. So this is a gallon jar, and with all the whey, or most of the whey drained out, you can see it filled up a ½ gallon. And it's delicious. So I hope you have fun with this and make it your own. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.